Now that we're finally here, let's finally talk about the prologue in part one of Justice League Snyder Cut. And we open up with Superman being mutilated to death by Doomsday, where we see the scene from Batman v Superman's ending where he goes ahead, stabs Doomsday, and Doomsday stabs back, and then Superman's screaming. And then we get an angle with the screaming where Superman is screaming in pain, and it's releasing this massive echo across the world, almost as if it was an echo in the Force. Yeah, I had to quote KOTOR too on that. Superman is screaming in pain, and I don't know if they're fully aware of it. But I kept thinking, like, are they aware of the echo screaming across the city and the world? And sure enough, they get the cast and crew, whose names the cast members involved, directed by Zack Snyder and everything, and written by Chris Terrio, Zack Snyder, and whatnot. And then we get to this very, very badly not going to age well Lex Luthor scene where Lex Luthor is in this water, I think. It looks like they just like, and he's seeing the images of Steppenwolf and the Doom's device and the mother boxes. It's just, it's not gonna age well, I think. It just seems so fake and so unbelievable that it led to this thing. It was so, what? It was so fake. It looked more like they went ahead and just grabbed a photo, a moving image, cropped out, cut out background, all the backgrounds that was around it, and then just photoshopped him into the water. It was just weird. But as we see, it's echoing across the city, and then we see Ray Fisher's Cyborg, booyah bitches, and whatnot, going ahead and seeing and feeling something, but then he turns around and here's the mother box that's locked away in the closet because that's the perfect place to hide the device of ultimate power, the Infinity Stones, essentially, which that's gonna end well, and it starts shaking and triggering like it hears the echo of Superman and of the Kryptonian. And they never. This is the thing. I know I'm going to go into a little bit of spoiler way far into the thing. Like, I know this is a spoiler review and me talking about it in a Snyder Cut format with the grayscale just for effect. But I'm thinking, it's. They never explain why the Kryptonian acts like that. Why it just echoes and why the echo triggers it to unlock. Like, it didn't do that before. Like, it took a powerful scream to trigger it. I'm pretty sure Diana's powerful enough. Shouldn't there have been a massive scream that triggered it? Though, of course, she disappeared after the World War One because that was great. And yeah, so that just confused me. They never explained why it took Superman's screen to trigger the mother boxes. Like, it was around way before all this. So why is it taking it long now? I don't know. But sure enough, as this movie continues, we head to Themyscira, we head to Atlantis, and they're all seeing the mother boxes that they secretly guard because, as in Justice League 1, the original Justice League, that I have no idea is still canon at this point in the DCEU, they go ahead and also trigger and awaken hearing the echo of Superman scream, reaching past the walls of Themyscira's barrier, which further proves that it's incredibly weak because, well, anything can enter through it. Yeah, that was the thing that bugged me. I was like, wait, shouldn't the magical, powerful barrier be enough to, like, trick everyone, whoever passes by? Like, that just confused me. Like, Ciarán was able to get through it so easily, but yet now it can just. But now it's like it's been untouched for another 100 years. I think there might have been a gap here or two about that magic policy they had. Bad timing. This should know the Amazons, whereas Amber Heard's Mira, oh god, her. Considering what came out about her, I'm stunned they haven't made a public announcement about that. God, what did she do to the bed? Anyways, yeah, we're gonna go places, but yeah. So when that happened, I was thinking, okay, so what's she gonna do? She just stared in shock, like, oh no. Whereas the Amazons go into bow position like instantaneously when they hear the shaking, when they see the shaking happen. And then one of the Amazons goes closer, throwing her shield away because that's going to end well. Because I honestly thought it was going to explode light just from being touched. But instead it just cracks. The outer shell cracks. And she orders, alert the queen. So naturally, that's the realization, yeah, this is bad. And then it just weirdly transitions away from that. I was confused about this. So they never say when exactly this takes place. Takes place. I know this takes place after Batman v Superman. We all know that. But the way they treat it, it looks like in the Justice League, they said it was like what, 2 years, which is kind of confusing when you think about it, because if I'm correct, if that was 2 years, yeah, yeah, 2 years after Superman's death, I had to re-look that up. 2 years. It was 2 years after Superman's death, and no one up until this point were like, maybe we should look into that whole triggered effect. We don't get an estimation of how much time has passed. It could have been 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, 6 months, 60 days, or a DC Comics logic in the DC universe. It probably was last week before all this, because that would make sense. And we see this man going ahead and putting out a fire, and then patting on his horse and riding off across the mountain trails. And then, sure enough, as he goes ahead and continues these track, we get more credits, like the executive producers and all that. And then, long and behold, he reaches a village. He takes off his hood and covered and face covering to reveal it to be Bruce Wayne. Gasp! Yeah, so shocking. Considering how we, in the original Snyder Cut version of the movie, in the trailer, he does go after Aquaman first. Spoilers, he goes after Aquaman first. Okay, so there's one thing I didn't like. There was the one thing I don't like, what they did with Batman v Superman. I thought, considering how vast and massive the DC universe is, and considering Batman's been around for 20 years, he has to know more vigilantes and heroes. I was thinking, that scene where Batman goes ahead and reveals that those footages, those files he stole from LexCorp and gave to Diana for no particular reason, I was thinking, they could still do that. They could show these files that she gets from Bruce Wayne during all this, and she clicks open the file, but we don't see it. We don't see who she's looking at. We don't see, and then we see her reaction, and that's it. Would it have been better? It could have been like keeping the element of surprise to know who exactly are these characters. Is it Barry Allen? Is it Aquaman? Is it Cyborg? Is it Shazam, maybe earlier than expected? It could have been anyone from the DC universe, because it's such a massive place. But no, they just give away who they were, and it's like, and all this looks more like a press kit for the movie, instead of actually being something that they could have kept a mystery element to, and kept how the team looks for them. So yeah, Batman enters the village, and we get our official title synopsis: "Don't count on it, Batman." Yeah, and then we cut to this fisherman that goes ahead, the seemingly leader of the village, saying, Bruce Wayne. And I was thinking, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious who it is. I mean, like, I'd be kind of amazed if they were like, who is Bruce Wayne? And I'm thinking, how does no one know who he is? I'm like, I know he's trying to keep the Batman stuff secret, but I was thinking, if it works out that Jason Momoa's Aquaman is with the Batman all of a sudden after this mysterious outsider Bruce Wayne come out of nowhere, it's like, wait, Bruce Wayne is Batman. And thus the reveals there. Yeah, there's some times I was thinking like, okay, it should have been like, how does Batman keep this identity a secret? It was much worse in the Justice League version. It was much worse. Like, it was so like the only thing that stopped it was no one being stupid. Sadly. So when that happens, Batman is talking to them, saying that I need warriors. I've heard about the legendary Aquaman and how he comes to this village every now and again during the winter, especially. So it's like, they still never gave a discernible timeline of when this exactly takes place, but yeah, Bruce Wayne offers the whole, I'll give you 20 grand, 25 grand if you tell me if I could speak to this man. He's offering money, which could help them, but the snow has kind of crippled them. But then there was like, I was thinking, wasn't there a scene in the Justice League where Batman just gets the information of what they're looking for from Aquaman, which leads to a $30,000 give, or 35, and it's like, oh, so that was cut. They wanted to keep this more of a mystery from Batman because, he can't know everything because Batman always knows everything. And after Arthur tries to nearly strangle him because he already knows who. And this is the thing that really confused me. Like, is he just trying to be an ass about the whole, I know who you are, and whatnot? Like, he really just tells him he's Batman. And then, Arthur's like, so you dress like a bat? Then he says he's been protecting Gotham for 20 years, and he just says, oh, that shithole. And I was like, oh, great. So all the characters except Batman are aware that Gotham is a terrible place. Props. So naturally, Aquaman, after Batman tries to convince him, is, yeah, I'm not helping you guys. Go F yourself. And then these women come out and sing this folklore theme, this folklore song. And I was like, what song is this? They sing this song, and like as Arthur leaves, and then Batman looks back and he disappears into the ocean. And sure enough, as this goes on, we cut to Clark Kent's grave, his tombstone head, and it's revealed that Martha is leaving. Turns out that Martha... I know, I just needed to make that joke at least once. And it's revealed that her house was on foreclosure, and she has moved out and is departing, leading to the reveal that, yeah... In fact, this is the thing that also bugged me, what happens later. We see her later in the movie, not really, but sort of. And I was like, where did she go after this? Because she disappears for like most of the movie. And yeah, she departs after the housing foreclosure, or Clark Joseph Kent. And yeah, it's kind of depressing because it's like, well, she lost her husband, she lost her son. Most likely this led to the whole bank owning the house again and foreclosure. And yeah, and then we cut away from that to Bruce Wayne and Alfred getting together and talking on the plane. But then we cut where he's going ahead and essentially explaining how, Aquaman said no, didn't he? If I say no, Alfred, if I say no, does that mean I get bonus points? No, sir. No, Master Bruce. It's not how that works. So, yeah, they can prepare to take a tour, and then we cut away from that to get to Lois Lane and see how she's doing. Yeah, so she's getting coffee. And apparently has been going to coffee ever since Clark died, where she goes ahead and goes to where his monument was before it was tragically destroyed, right, in the events of Batman v Superman by the hands of Doomsday. So yeah, she always meets this police officer. So it's becoming a regular thing now, it seemed. And yeah, her scenes up to this point are kind of crazy, but yeah. And there was a change in the papers regarding the Daily Planet. So in the original one, they say the Daily Planet, the world still mourning and loss of hope. Then it goes ahead and changes to Security Bank of Manhattan seeks new architect. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why. But yeah, music's playing, and then she meets a cop who's pretty nice actually, and saying like, and she gives him the coffee. Turns out that this is something that she does every day, and she's just there to mourn more because she's grieving like any normal person would. And sure enough, we see more sites and monuments dedicated to the Superman. Here's the thing. I don't know why. Like, I know Superman was doing a lot of good things in Batman v Superman before the plot started, when we did the whole Superman question. I was just thinking, as far as we're aware, he did stuff mostly in America, in Iceland, and some Arctic region with a ship collapsed, and probably parts of Mexico. I don't know, but didn't like the world kind of see him more like God, and the world saw him more as a god than actually a person who's just trying to do the right thing. And here's the thing, I forgive a little bit of that because it's like this is all new to them, so naturally they probably should just wait it out this bit. But yeah, we cut away from that to oh man, a van going ahead, pulling up to a local place, east in a city where, yeah, they kill the guards and starts terrorism. It's actually kind of a badass scene for Wonder Woman, honestly, because Wonder Woman, they go ahead. There's these group of thugs who I don't get their full fledged motivation. They say back to the dark ages, and I gotta be honest, that delivery was kind of freaking awesome. And they take all these kids because evil people are that sick in the head, because there's a school. This leader goes ahead and arms a bomb, and basically says, "As we'll be making our statement shortly. Until then, if I see any movement, you'll have a lot of dead kids on your hands." And it's revealed that he has no statement. He has no demands. He's just there to blow everything up as part of his big initiative to go back to the Dark Ages. Yeah, I don't get that plan. So what it sounds like, that they're trying to, like, he's trying to revert Europe back to the medieval ages. I don't get that. Like, I don't get what his motivation is. Damn it. But yeah, this is mainly just to showcase. Oh, Diana's here. She's gonna save the day and kick ass and take names, which is gonna be awesome. So she goes ahead, subdues one, gets the lasso of truth, and yeah, she beats the holy crap out of them and kills them. Yeah, I don't get it. So in the Joss Whedon cut, when I saw reviews of it, I never watched it, by the way. I never watched it, and I probably never will, even though I have it on Blu-ray, mostly because I have an obligation, but I never just took the time to watch it. And then when I found out everything that happened, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to watch clips and see how it goes. So Wonder Woman in the Justice League cut, she throws the suitcase with the bomb all the way into the air. But in the original version, she uses her strength and a great leap, because in this continuity she doesn't fly, according to Zack Snyder. As far as I'm aware, she does great leaps like Superman did during the Golden Age, during the beginning of the comic age, and uses her enhanced strength to throw the bomb into the air and subsequently, stop it from destroying everything. And naturally, the thug is pissed beyond belief and decides to. Yeah, there's a ton of slow motion. I forgot to mention there is a ton of freaking slow motion, to the point it's like I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure this movie could have been cut down to 3 hours if that happened. But yeah, the guy just goes ahead and smiles like, "Look, kid, that's going to kill her. Wait, she is the strongest Superman. I'm screwed. Better take my observations and just kill these kids instead of running away because I am a moron." So yeah, he decides, you know what, he's gonna just kill kids. And Wonder Woman deflects every single shot in this awesome scene, which matches Zack Snyder's slow-mo style. And yeah, it's kind of freaking badass. And after she gets super pissed, it seemed, she unleashes her powers and just obliterates the guy from existence. And causing rubble to collapse onto people, probably. Hero! And then there's this thing, I don't get why, but it kept focusing on this particular girl. I was thinking, considering how, despite Zack Snyder's mindset being this is a 6-part film series he's doing, this is also a shared universe that he has to use and adapt to. I was thinking, what's the significance of this girl they keep focusing on? I was looking at this and I was like, I don't know, honestly. I don't know why they're doing this. Diana turns to the kids, asking them if they're all right, and saying that they're okay, and the teachers are there. And yeah, like I said, they focus on this girl who's still a little freaked out and gasps for a little breath. But yeah, she then goes to this kid and tells her, "Are you okay, princess?" And she nods and smiles before saying, "Can I be like you someday?" And then Diana smiles back, saying, "You can be anything you want to be." And I was thinking, is that Donna Troy? They never gave the name. I was thinking this whole time, is that supposed to be the new Donna Troy of the DCEU originally? Had Zack Snyder been allowed to do his thing? It just feels so focused on like in the original, in the Justice cut, it was never in there, which is weird. But I was thinking, this whole time I kept thinking, it feels like that looked like it was, when I was watching, I was like, they're focusing way a lot on this little girl throughout this Wonder Woman scene. I'm thinking she was supposed to be a massive character or in her own spin-off thing down the road. And I was thinking, is that Donna Troy in the future? Is that going to be Troya? Like, Diana goes back to Themyscira eventually because she hasn't been there in a long time. A real long time. And it'd been like, would that been the trigger that lets her come back? Because, Zack Snyder, like I said, he had his own vision, but he has to compete with a bunch of other people's visions. So that would have been altered. But yeah, I'm still confused about this. I'm just like confused to this day about it. And then we cut to Themyscira, and Hippolyta is informed, it seemed, of what happened, which means this probably takes place. So here's the best way to describe it. If I was to find the best way to describe the timeline that they did this, it would either probably be the Echo had just recently got there because it does travel differently, or this is Hippolyta took a real long time to be informed of this and then heads there. Yeah, that was my conspiracy. So she enters the ancient temple that apparently always existed, and Hippolyta and her forces go ahead entering the chamber with all the Amazonians, and they ask if there's been any updates about it. So clearly some time has passed other than the crack. And yeah, she does this line where she said, when they think it went back to sleep, because it does, she says, "Evil does not sleep. It waits." And the mother box starts wiring up again, and with someone saying, "Something is coming." And they start to prepare themselves for what looks like a fight and says, "Prepare for battle." The mother box continues to look like it's about to power up, when all of a sudden, out in the darkness, boom! The Amazons are thrown back, and long and behold, suddenly enters the sky, the very open rooftop of the building. I'm thinking, wow. You couldn't. So let's see if I get this straight. You wanted to create this badass entrance, the original badass entrance, when all of it really could have done is just, you could have just had a hole in the roof. You could have just closed it up and then let him come through. But then they would be like, well, if we did that, then it would probably kill some of the Amazons and really wouldn't be much of an awesome fight scene. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the logic they went with. More Amazons outside the city are trying to arrive, and in the city they start to notice, oh, there's a giant portal in the sky. Oh, it must be a Suicide Squad Avengers movie. I always never got the hang of that. And the Amazons prepare for battle. Amazons on your marks! And everything. And then we see the Parademons arrive. And they're all gearing up for this big entrance. There's all this anxiety's pulsing in you. All these Parademons coming out. And then long and behold, the original Steppenwolf arrives to grace us with his presence. And let me just say this. I saw the Steppenwolf they made for Justice League. He looks like a grandpa, I'll admit. Even his voice sounds more grandpa-ish, like he's trying to be like he's trying to be menacing, but then the recut was like, oh no, we need you to be less menacing because yeah. And his armor, okay. Here's the thing about it. You obviously know it's CGI. It doesn't like. Here's the thing. These effects in the movie, a good chunk of them, not all of it, a good chunk of it is so obviously not there, and yet I don't care for existent reason, for some reason, except for the Luthor scene. I was like, why is Luthor photoshopped in water when you could have just reused the footage from and to make it more organically connected? But yeah, Steppenwolf arrives and his armor is living technology, organic technology. The Parademons are snarling and pointing their guns, and then he just says, "Defenders." And I'm thinking, no, Steppenwolf, you're in the wrong timeline. The Defenders are over there in the Netflix series that just got canceled. Oh, well, this is awkward. I better make this use of it. They have failed 100,000 worlds. They always fail. And yeah, I've come to enlighten you to the great darkness, and I will bathe in your fear. And he is just oozing badass. Then Hippolyta screams out, Amazons of the daughters of the Mosquito, show him your fear! We have no fear! And thus Armageddon breaks out, leading to this very awesome battle that's more stretched out and more epic in portion, and where all the Amazons are using their strategy, their thousands upon thousands of years of experience battling the Parademons, who probably just have much experience. They're firing guns. The Amazons are using bow and arrows and swords, and then they're fighting, and it's just badass and awesome. And then all the Amazons corral together to, as Hippolyta orders to gather the legions. More of the Amazons go ahead and start tackling Steppenwolf, Steppenwolf just starts cutting them down with his electronic battle axe, which looks more better than the other one. And yeah, it's a complete epic fail for them. They're all crawling around, and he's just like, no, I will crush every last one of you. As Hippolyta boldly takes the mother box with her lasso. Much to Steppenwolf's anger and growling before blowing them all away as Parademons continue to fight, and Hippolyta tries to go for a shot in, and as one of the Amazons gets shot in the chest, and yeah, Hippolyta manages to cut down one of them in a very epic fashion, and then I can't pronounce her name. says to seal the vault, to seal all this and let them die in honor, battling the parademons and take as many as with them, which they promptly do as Hippolyta does her slow-mo style Indiana Jones escape. Leading to the temple's collapse, and as she goes ahead and gives the mother box to the others, she goes and stays behind to, honor the fallen who tragically died, takes off her helmet. And the parademons come out, with Steppenwolf joining the fray, because, we all know that was not going to be the end of the movie. And this leads to a gigantic size race, where Steppenwolf is just being this ultimate badass, where he's just leaping into the great air, smashes into the ground, and starts beating down the Amazons and horses. And then we get him taking the battle axe and just slicing through one, cutting one and spreading blood all over the place, and then just punches another horse away as he looks on to see more parademons charge. Makes another great giant leap only to take out more as spears and arrows are used at him, and he just shrugs it off like, "Your primitive weapons are no match for me." Hippolyta and the others try to catch up to the others to get the mother box, but in very slow-mo dramatic moment. And sure enough, as the battle rages on Steppenwolf is trapped down by more Amazons using the advanced technology of ropes. Yeah, Greg Rucka probably should have been like, why was I not brought in for this movie? I should have been brought in for the Amazons' adaptation to technology. I did this in my comic books. Why can't you? And Steppenwolf naturally goes ahead, ditches his blade for a little bit after cutting down an Amazon and her throat slit open, and then uses his strength to pull more horses and remove all the arrows and rope bondage that held him down, and just the organic technology bursts out all the arrows that were impacting on him like it meant nothing, and starts growling and being like this badass mofo. As more parademons try to get the mother box for Steppenwolf, because they know if they fail, he's gonna probably kill them in the most painful way possible, and they ultimately fail. After one of the Amazons gets tragically slaughtered, like I'm not kidding. Like, she goes ahead and fires an arrow while it's connected to the mother box using her lasso connected to it, and it fires all the way back to Hippolyta and her Amazonian friend she's with, and her fellow sister, and she gets smashed. I'm surprised they didn't show that. They just show the electricity coming to her, her eyes glowing, and then was like, she's dead. And after that, it does not end well. You almost think they could get away, but we know in the Justice League he gets away with it. But it's still more ballooned out. It shows more of his awesome might, that he's able to take out these Amazons, even with all the best they give them, if they can. And Steppenwolf, as Hippolyta realizes one of her sisters in arms is dying, being crushed by a horse. Yeah, she grabs arrows as Steppenwolf mocks her, and she keeps firing, saying, "Oh, noble queen, why do you fight?" And she just continues to fight, and then Steppenwolf mocking the death of the sisters and saying, "You can't save any of them." And he just shrugs off arrows, saying, "The great darkness begins." And more Amazons arrive, has legions upon legions arrive, and he's just like, "Well, I got my box. I'll get the others. Fuck all of you." And as the volley of arrows come after him, he just, "See you bitches," and then boom, tubes away. Leading to, oh god, this is bad, isn't it? Yeah, this is probably bad. Yeah, this is probably bad. Yeah. And, yeah, Hippolyta realizing that the danger she's in, they assume he's going back to his universe, which the new gods exist outside of the multiversal dimensional plane, so Darkseid just comes and goes whenever he wants. Yeah, I know he's in this movie, so sorry for that. So they realize he's going to the world of man. We must signal the great fire. And yeah, they say that no one on man's world will know, because no one remembers this except for Atlanteans. Thus, they say, but she will. She has to. Leading to the end of part 1 and the prologue, and it's just, oh, yeah, this is bad, isn't it? We're royally fucked. We're all fucked. Yeah, that's the end of part 1, everybody, and it's part 1 in the prologue. It was a great 37-minute introduction. So the prologue is 5 to 6 minutes. The rest of it is dedicated to 32 minutes of Aquaman and Batman, Diana being awesome, and the Amazons proving why they are awesome while battling the mighty badass Steppenwolf in this. And yeah, look forward to this. Let's continue on to this massive story event. Oh man, we're in for a ride. This is a 4-hour epic, and we've only passed 37 minutes and 2 seconds. Yep.